The Holy Grail. Henry of Blois. Jesse Weston, in Ritual to Romance, expanded on James Fraser's theory of a dying god to propose that the legends of the Holy Grail were founded on the fertility themes of the ancient mysteries, like those of Hades and Mithras, mediated by Gnostic Christianity, where the central myth was a Eucharistic feast, in which the worshippers partook of the food of life from the sacred vessels. The book's main focus is on the Holy Grail tradition and its influence, particularly the wasteland, a Celtic motif that ties the barrenness of a land with a curse that must be lifted by a hero. The book is mostly dismissed today, as it likely revealed too much. Nevertheless, the work was mentioned by T.S. Eliot in the notes to his poem, The Waste Land. The book appears in Francis Coppola's 1979 film Apocalypse Now, among those kept by Colonel Walter E. Kurtz, played by Marlon Brando, along with Fraser's The Golden Bough. The book also appears in the Oliver Stone film The Doors. The Gnostic content of the legends of the Holy Grail is associated with the spread of the influence of the Sefer HaBayer to southern France, centered in Septimania, which became known as the Languedoc, contributed to the emergence of the heretical sect of the Cathars associated with the Templars. And it was a network of dynastic families descended from Guillaume de Gellone that included Henry II, King of England, 1133 to 1189, Henry of Blois, 1096 to 1171, nephew of Templar founder Hugh of Champagne, and Henry's nephew Henry I, Count of Champagne, 1127 to 1181, who were at the center of the authorship of these various early legends. The actual author is not proven, but Hank Harrison was the first, in 1992, to suggest that Henry of Blois was the author of the Pearl's Vase. The fact that the Grail sagas are concerned with a secret and purportedly sacred lineage is indicated in the Pearl's Vase, where we read, "Here is the story of thy descent, here begins the book of the Sangreal." Henry of Blois was a younger son of the Crusader Stephen, Count of Blois by Adela of Normandy, daughter of William the Conqueror and Matilda of Flanders. Adela of Normandy's brother, Henry I of England, married Matilda of Scotland, the daughter of Malcolm III and Saint Margaret, daughter of Agatha of Bulgaria. Adela, who would become a nun at Cluny, conceived their youngest son Henry of Blois during the single year Stephen was in France between his time in the Crusades. At 2 years of age, Henry was pledged to the church at Cluny Abbey, as an oblate child, where he formed a lifelong friendship with Peter the Venerable. In 1126, Henry I of England invited his nephew Henry of Blois to England as Abbot of Glastonbury, and in 1129 appointed him Bishop of Winchester in Hampshire. Genealogy of Henry of Blois. Stephen II, Count of Blois, leader of the Prince's Crusade and step-brother of Hugh of Champagne, founder of the Templars in contact with Rashi, plus Adela of Normandy, D of William the Conqueror. Theobald II of Champagne plus Matilda of Carinthia. Theobald V, Count of Blois, involved in blood libel through affair with Jewess Pulselina of Blois, plus Alex of France, D of Louis VII plus Eleanor of Aquitaine. Henry I of Champagne plus Marie of France, D of Louis VII and Eleanor of Aquitaine. Hosted Walter Mapp, the author of the Skull of Sidon legend. Sponsored Grail author Chrétien de Troyes. Henry II, 1166 to 1197, plus Queen Isabella I of Jerusalem, G.D. of Baldwin II and Morphia of Armenia of Walter Mapp's Skull of Sidon legend. Marie of Champagne plus Baldwin I, Latin Emperor. Theobald III of Champagne plus Blanche of Navarre, Countess of Champagne. Adela of Champagne plus King Louis VII of France. Marie of Champagne plus Odo II of Burgundy. Stephen, King of England, suppressed blood libel case of William of Norwich, plus Matilda I, Countess of Boulogne, D of Eustace III, B of Godfrey of Bouillon and Baldwin I of Jerusalem. Henry of Blois, Abbot of Glastonbury, Bishop of Winchester, author of Pearl's Vase, and used Geoffrey of Monmouth as a nom de plume to write Historia Regum Britanniae, which was largely responsible for formulating the image of Arthur. Henry of Blois' brother was Stephen, King of England, 1092/6, 1154, who was involved in suppressing an investigation into the first blood libel case against the Jews Europe, which involved an accusation of ritual murder. Stephen I married the daughter of Eustace III, brother of Godfrey of Bouillon, leader of the First Crusade. Eustace II's wife was Mary Scots, daughter of David I of Scotland, sponsor of the Templars. Henry of Blois' other brother was Theobald II, Count of Champagne, 1090–1152, who inherited the titles of their uncle Hugh of Champagne. Theobald II was among the delegates at the Council of Troyes in 1128 to endorse the recognition of the Templars. Shortly after his brother Stephen's death in 1154 and the accession of Henry II as King of England, Henry of Blois retired to Cluny, for at least 2 years and mourned there his mentor Peter the Venerable, who died on Christmas Day, 1156. Henry II, who claimed descent from King Arthur, was the son of Geoffrey V of Anjou, 1113–1151, founder of the Plantagenet dynasty. Geoffrey V married Matilda of England, the daughter of Henry I of England, the son of William the Conqueror. Matilda's mother was Matilda of Scotland, the daughter of Malcolm III of Scotland and Saint Margaret, the daughter of Edward the Exile and Agatha of Bulgaria. Henry II married Eleanor of Aquitaine after she married Louis VII of France. Early on in her life, Matilda preferred the well-established Benedictine monastery of Cluny. In later years, she directed her attention to the Cistercian order, whose dedication to the Virgin Mary was of particular importance to her. 3.